So it's been pretty quiet over Helldivers 2 recently. A lot of the stuff that people are complaining about are usually patch related, something related to nerfs and whatnot. People are tired over the fact that the guns and the stratagems that they enjoy using all of a sudden gets nerfed the moment that developers even get a slight sniff over players having too good of a time in a PvE game, mind you. But now all of a sudden people are so fed up that they're now essentially protesting against the developers by allowing the bots to take over Super Earth. And apparently they're close to succeeding too on top of that.
Tonight at 11.
Doom! Now, I gotta tell you, man, Helldivers 2 probably should be studied for a video game that had it all, right? It's a game that had 400,000 plus concurrent players at its best. People were all for this game, myself included. I absolutely loved the game. I thought it was a lot of fun, but ultimately, once they tried to do the whole PlayStation account linking nonsense and bent the knee to players, that told me everything I needed to know about the developers, essentially, since they tried to hide it and then gaslight you and tell you that they didn't try to hide it. I don't really need to support something like that, and bad enough, I'm not going to get my money back. I've tried so many times. I just stopped playing the game. Now, a lot of people still kept playing the game, but unfortunately with a live service game like Helldivers, you're going to go past the honeymoon phase and people are going to say, you know what, I'm just bored, right? It's a PvE game at the end of the day. There's very little competition at all. There's very little incentive to compete against one another, so they're ultimately going to lose a lot of players to the honeymoon phase. Now, with that being said, this protest is pretty damn hilarious, and it goes to show that no matter what, man, players are going to get their way one way or another, even if they got to ruin the gameplay themselves in order to get it. So let's get into this article, guys, from Games Radar. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So it says, frustrated with Helldivers 2 recent weapon nerfs, many grunts have totally abandoned the automaton front in protest, and the bots are dangerously close to taking Super Earth. Last week saw a lot of change for Arrowhead's third-person shooter, thanks to Helldivers 2 Escalation of Freedom update, which came with significant nerfs for weapons like flamethrowers and breaker incendiary shotgun. Understandably, many are rather unhappy to have their favorite toys worsen, but their response to the situation: let the bots advance. Let the Super Earth burn. Now, I don't know what it is, man, about Arrowhead Studios, but I don't know if they realize that the game that they have is a PvE game, right? They are nerfing things left and right in this game as if there's a PvP aspect to this game, but there isn't. It is simply a PvE game at the end of the day, and I don't understand why they are just going through it with such a fine-tooth comb and not letting players have their guns that they thoroughly enjoy, right? Obviously, if something is game-breaking, then that's a little bit different, but it seems like everything is game-breaking. They nerf everything. How can that be a thing? Either you are incompetent and you just can't put something out there without it being overpowered to begin with, or you just don't like fun. It's kind of weird, right? I don't understand the fine-tooth comb that this developer is going through this game with, and all they're doing is drawing people away more and more. I mean, I've seen patch after patch where people complain about the nerfs and how the game is not fun anymore and how they took away their favorite guns and whatnot, or their favorite stratagems, and then before you know it, everything's androgenized. Everything is boring, right? When you make nothing fun, then, I mean, the obvious outcome is everything is going to be boring. And this is why people are leaving this game in droves. And it's sad because, again, this game had everything. This game had all the players in the world. It had plenty of players to build a long-lasting future off of, and it was a beacon, right? It was a beacon of hope in a game of woke, in games filled with woke nonsense. It was a beacon of hope, but unfortunately, their community managers, which were all psychopaths, mind you, on top of the fact that the game was getting nerfed nonstop, has led people to completely abandon the game. I don't even know what their player base is now, but I'm pretty sure it's like 1/20th of what it used to be. It says right now the automated front is rapidly advancing towards Super Earth. There's just one more totally liberated sector, the Kelvin sector, separating the two, and very few try to stop it. According to the unofficial Helldivers 2 Galactic Map website, at the time of writing, there are just 1,066 people fighting in the Mars Spirit sector before it, and although some have taken to the game subreddit concerned about the progress the enemies have made, many are willing on the planet's... Holy shit. That is insane. They're perfectly fine with just letting the Earth burn. They're like, you know what, fuck it. Just let it all burn. Tear it all down, man. You cannot fuck with these people, man. Let them have it. Maybe then Super Earth will finally give us some real guns. One player writes, if Super Earth wanted to remain safe, they would stop nerfing our guns, argues another. I love this, man. Yo, gamers, honestly, man, they just cannot be beat. Gamers cannot be beat. At the end of the day, man, they will troll you to the end of time. They will absolutely get their way one way or another. And you got to stop fucking making this game purposefully boring, man. It's a PvE game. I don't know how many times I have to say it. Trust me, I get it. They're supposed to be balanced. I understand. You know, not everybody's supposed to be using the same gun. Totally understand that. But when you're nerfing everything, then you're just incompetent. You're not making anything, proper in the beginning. And then the problem is you're putting it out there where you know it's broken, where you know it's overly fun, and people are going to get addicted to it, and then you nerf it. Like, what the fuck is the point? Others have suggested that the bot takeover is actually realistic, considering the nerfs. Sucky guns and outclassed artillery loses wars, one Helldiver proclaims. So we can't defend Super Earth because our enemies have better weapons than us, and Super Earth can only produce crap for us to fight with. So we're losing. Super Earth produced a few effective weapons off the assembly line, but they decided to cut costs, so the production quality is far lower now and does not function well enough to win any war against our enemies. Shame on high command. Bro, they're making a literal storyline. They're making a fucking storyline out of this protest. How much more based can you possibly get? That is insane. It'll be interesting to see if these lack of efforts or lack thereof could actually lead to the invasion of Super Earth. But if you're looking for a more direct way to share constructive criticism, Arrowhead has now opened up to player feedback forum, so you can do exactly that. Hopefully the game will get to a point where everyone is happy to jump back to Super Earth's defense soon. I don't think so. I think that the problem is once you go past that honeymoon phase, you really have to do a lot to keep players, right? You have to keep them engaged. You have to keep them interested. You have to keep them having fun. And what they're doing is the opposite of fun, right? What they're doing is, hey, we're losing players left and right, so let's keep nerfing guns and making things more boring so that we continue to lose even more players left and right. It's the weirdest thing. And again, I don't understand because it's a PvE game, so it's not like another player is going to get griefed over this or something like that. Like, people are just out there trying to have fun, and you constantly keep taking away their weapons. You constantly keep taking away their fun, and of course people are just going to want to leave. So I don't really know what's going to happen with Helldivers, man. I haven't looked up their numbers. I think the last time I saw it, it was like at 20,000 or less, and this is a game that had 400,000 plus players concurrent at any point, so it's a massive loss. There's no doubt about it. It's bigger than most live action games over this course of period of time, but that's because they keep making it boring. So if you want a boring game, then you're only going to deal with people who want a boring game, which unfortunately for you, that's not many people. I don't know of many people that want to play a boring game for a long period of time and invest their time and money into it, but it looks like Arrowhead Studios is looking for that particular kind of gamer. So if you're out there, I guess you should go find this game before this game eventually dies. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.